Hello, welcome to another brand new edition of Sports Pizza. Happy New Month. My name is Edwin Onyebole. Thoroughly excited to be here once again. We have a lot to dissect, a lot to talk about. On today's show, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be in action. FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. What are the chances of the Eagles going to the Mundial in 2026? We'll talk about that on the show today. There's so much more away from football in Formula One. It feels like there's a civil war brewing in the house of McLaren. And don't forget, we'll give you the very best of tips for the punters on the Tipsters Corner. I do this in company of my homeboy Bankole Oladuni, and together we'll make sure that you have a fantastic time with us. Let's go on a short break. When we return, we'll set the ball rolling. Welcome back. It is Sports Pizza, and of course, I have Bankole in the studio with me. Banky, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. It's always nice to come back here, especially when you're looking forward to the international break, the Super Eagles, and our chances to get into the World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. I mean, it's we've seen the list, but hopefully we'll get into it over the course of the show. And you cannot.
Of course. We'll start with our one. I'm excited. It's the first of many. And we hope that we'll continue to set the bar higher and higher, and we'll maintain this level. And of course, thanks to our viewers. Without them, we'll have this award.
Absolutely. I mean, we can put in all of the hard work. We can come here and talk about United, come here and talk about Chelsea, Formula One. But without the viewers, it would be inconsequential. We are very, very grateful for the award. And also,
thank you for your support.
To you also. You also have to give you kudos. We've done it.
To the team also.
And our producer, who is making sure the buttons stick. It's nice to have this on our table.
All right, Bankole, let's get straight into action. Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on Rwanda and Benin Republic. Now, the South Africans were dumped 3 points for fielding an ineligible player, and currently stands at 3 points. Benin Republic, South Africa level on point, 14 points. Nigeria with 11 points alongside Rwanda. But the reaction from Nigerians so far is one of hope. Do you share that hope?
Well, I don't think I share that sentiment of hope. I still think we are in a position where our destiny is not in our hands. No matter what we do, if South Africa and Benin Republic still do things right, we are not going anywhere. So I think we fumbled when we couldn't beat Zimbabwe, when we couldn't beat Lesotho. If we are taking advantage of that, if we are getting full 6 points from those fixtures, we'll probably be sitting on top of the log. But right now, even if we go on and we beat Benin Republic, it's still a case of, are we still going to qualify to the playoffs? Are we the second best? Are we going to qualify as part of the teams who were second best? Because you look at teams on 17 points, look at teams on 15 points, look at teams on 16 points, and Nigeria will only be on 14 points. And besides, it does not look like we can beat Benin Republic. Benin Republic are a team that has shown that they are well coached. The former coach of Nigeria, General, he has done magic basically with that team. You look at how good they are defensively and also offensively. They don't have the most talented players. They don't have the flamboyant players that we might boast of or we think that we have. But you could clearly see a team with identity, a team that is well coached, like I said earlier. But I don't share in the hope. I think it's still going to be nothing short of a miracle if we qualify for the World Cup.
What next for this crop of Super Eagles players? If they miss out on the World Cup, we know the AFCON is around the corner, but you get a feeling that this is, for a couple of them, a last chance saloon to be at the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a couple of them have also under-delivered on the promise that they showed. I've been especially disappointed in the likes of Alex Iwobi.
Really? Iwobi?
Yes, I've been disappointed.
I think Iwobi has been one of our most consistent performers. Don't forget, his goal gave us the 2018 World Cup ticket.
Every single time that Nigeria has failed to qualify for a competition, Iwobi has been there.
But he's also been there when we qualified for the World Cup.
I'm talking about Iwobi in the sense that he probably looks like our most talented player.
But there's a Victor Osimhen.
Iwobi came on the scene before Victor Osimhen.
I know.
He looks like
our most when he came on the scene
and our most experienced player so far.
Bankole, when he came on the scene, like I said, his goal gave us the World Cup tickets. I can't forget that game. Bankole, I was live in the stadium that day. His goal gave us a World Cup ticket, 2018 World Cup. After that, we've had the likes of Victor Osimhen come on board, Boniface come on board. Both of them haven't given us. Now, I'm not saying both are the reason why we're not going to the World Cup, because Osimhen has done his part. But singling out one player, and that player being Iwobi, doesn't really sit well.
I'm not singling out Iwobi. I am saying he's part of the crop of players who have under-delivered for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You talk about the 2018 FIFA World Cup. That's how many years ago?
Yeah, but it's still.
That's how many years ago?
Yeah,
you can look. Like I said, and in 2018, he was not a supposed leader in that squad. He was a young star coming in. So you had experience in that. You had Mikel Obi in that squad. You had Odion Igalo. Now it is up to him to lead. It is up to him to be the focal man in this. So
how is he Iwobi's?
Look, Eddie, because the thing is, I'm not. I am not.
You started.
If you had allowed me, go.
No, you know why I caught you in. You started with a name that, for me, has been one of the most consistent.
No, I don't
That's
think
the
so.
problem.
I don't think so. I don't think he has been the most consistent. Honestly, I can even go as far as saying I don't exactly see the contribution he has made. In the last couple of years.
All right.
I don't exactly see what he's bringing to the table for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Maybe that's me being too harsh, but also you look at the reason why I find it uncomfortable to put Victor Osimhen on blast is because in the last he has been our highest goal scorer. Nobody has scored more goals than Victor Osimhen. If you look at the win rate of the Super Eagles with Victor Osimhen in the team, it is absolutely incredible. So I find it difficult to talk about Victor Osimhen. Also, Victor Boniface, I don't think his contribution has been significant enough for me to put him on blast. I don't think he has had enough appearances for me to even consider him.
Come on, Bankole.
Yes, I don't think he has. Look, you have to look at Victor Boniface. How many times has he actually played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? And
the times he's played, what has he done?
Has he had up to 2010 appearances in the Super Eagles colours? I don't think so. So I don't think it's important enough for me to even bring him into these conversations. But you talk about the likes of Iwobi, you talk about the likes of Osimhen. These are guys who, even Kelechi Iheanacho has fallen off the roadside. These are guys who were expected to lead the Super Eagles into another generation. Maybe not the 94 generation or the generations before, but at least where we'll comfortably be qualifying for the World Cup, where we'll comfortably be getting into the AFCON, where we'll comfortably competing for the AFCON. But so far that they have under-delivered. And like I said, I'm not singling out Iwobi. I'm saying the current crop of players that we currently have under-delivered.
Still with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where does the NFF fit into this conversation?
The NFF so it is quite tricky, because if we're talking about any other group of football like the Falcons or the Golden Eagles or the Flying Eagles, I'll probably put the NFF on blast. But for the Super Eagles, they have done everything they could to make them feel comfortable. You can come here and you can criticize the NFF president.
Could they have handled the managerial situation better? The appointments they've made.
I don't think they were wrong to give Finidi George the job. I don't think it was out of place to consider a man. Was it the best at the time? Was it the best they could have gotten for the Super Eagles? When have we ever gotten the best for the Super Eagles?
Was there someone better?
I don't think so. I don't think there was anybody realistically better for the job at that point, except for the fact that you had a Finidi George, who was assistant coach to Pasero, who has been in the job for a couple of years and just gotten us to the finals of the AFCON.
How about you extend Pesero's contract? You just got to the final of the AFCON with the guy. Also,
it just cost us 6 points against Zimbabwe and Lesotho.
Could they or should they have extended Pesero's contract?
I don't think so. I mean, we can't ignore the fact that he also started this World Cup qualifiers. The first 2 games were under Jose Pasero, and it was absolutely the worst performance that we've seen so far in this series. If you also want to include the Finidi George one, but like I was saying, I don't think they were out of reach, or I don't think they were unreasonable to give the job to Finidi. He was the one who was responsible for the mess. We've always clamored for homegrown coaches. We've always clamored for local coaches, and yet a local coach who has been in the stables of the Super Eagles, a local coach who was considered experienced enough, a local coach who was considered to have had a level of relationship, with the players, was given the job, and yet he goofed. So I don't necessarily want to blame the NFF on anything because it's the Super Eagles. They are the golden jewel of the country. So yeah, I don't think they made any mistake or any administrative error or whatever it is that you want to blame them for. Yeah, you can. I think it's solely down to the players and the managers we've had so far.
Still from the local scene, we have two clubs still in continental duties, Remo Stars and Rivers United. In the CAF Confederations Cup, both Abia Warriors and Kwara United lost over 2 legs to their opponents. But for Remo Stars, they take on Mamelodi Sundown.
Yeah, and just I don't know, maybe I'm trying to console or I'm trying to instill hope and confidence into Remo Stars players. But the Knockout Cup in South Africa, Mamelodi Sundowns got knocked out recently. Yeah. And that might be a sign that they are not exactly all that when it comes to cup competition. I'm being delusional here, but yeah. It's one of those
I'm happy
things.
you said that.
It's one of those things. Yeah, but it's going to be very difficult. I mean, we saw a lot of Remo Stars players at the Chan tournament, and we saw that panned out for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm not saying they are exactly bad players, but I'm just saying the gap between us and South Africa, the gap between us and Mamelodi Sundowns. You can clearly see it in the World Cup qualifiers. The gap between the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the best team that we have to offer, and South Africa is still quite wide. So yeah, in terms of Remo Stars, it's going to be a miracle if they defeat Mamelodi Sundowns over 2 legs. And for Rivers United, they clearly have the better side of the draw, but also in terms of where we stand amongst the best clubs in Africa, it's also going to be a struggle. It's not going to be comfortable for Rivers United, but hopefully we won't have a case where we have 2 of our teams crash out in the Confederations Cup in one round, and in the very next round we have 2 of our teams crash out in the Champions League.
All right, it's time to go on a break. When we return, we switch focus back to club football, where Liverpool are under serious scrutiny. Welcome back to the second half of the show. I'm sure you're having so much fun with us. Please follow us on our social media platforms. The handles are showing on your screen. We also have our YouTube page where you can go there, subscribe, and enjoy the content we have for you. Let's talk about club football quickly. Bankole, consecutive losses for Liverpool. In fact, it's 3 on the bounce in all competitions. 2 in the league, Crystal Palace and Chelsea, and of course 1 in the Champions League where they lost to Galatasaray. The wheels are falling off.
Yeah, not necessarily. I think they are going through a phase where everything in Premier League will go through. I don't expect Liverpool to be flawless. I don't expect any team in Premier League generally to be flawless. Are they questions that they have to answer? Absolutely. Yeah. Are they things that Arne Slot has to sort out? Are they forms of players that you need to improve? Yes, but I don't think it has gotten to the point where we start overreacting, where we start calling for the head of Arne Slot, where we start calling for the head of Musala, where we start labeling the likes of Isak and Florian Wirtz as flops. Yeah, but I think the international break is the perfect time for them to get away from that environment, go to their various national teams, and Slot would also have the opportunity, to review these last 3 games and what has gone wrong so far. Even at the start of the season, nobody thought they were perfect. The only consolation was that it probably might get better, but absolutely looked like it has gotten worse since that game against Crystal Palace. But yeah, I wouldn't call this an overreact. I wouldn't overreact to this. They're just 2 points and behind Arsenal after match day 7. It's still a long way to go for Liverpool.
Talking about Arsenal, Bankole, I think they have momentum going on their side. You get a feeling that defensively they are good, and in attack they have that cutting edge to see them win tight games and of course blow teams away.
I won't go as far as saying they have that cutting edge in attack. I don't. Yes, defensively they look impenetrable. Defensively, they are probably the best defensive side in all of Europe. But I still think they are struggling to create chances efficiently or to create chances consistently up top. But yeah, it's not going to be a problem. You still have the likes of Saka, you still have the likes of Eze. Saka coming back from an injury, Eze trying to adapt to a new team. Same thing with Gyökeres, who is also trying to adapt. Madueke was doing well before his injury, but I wouldn't worry about that. But like I said, it is a Premier League where a lot of people have gotten used to 90 points, 95 points, where in actual fact that was an outlier. That was not normal. But now I think we are reverting back to mean where the champions will probably settling for 84 points, 80 points, and that's what I expect from either Arsenal or Liverpool. I don't expect them to be flawless. I don't expect them to bamboozle all the teams in the Premier League. I expect them to just be good enough, to get to the title. And Arsenal so far are the favourites. And do they exactly look like a 90-point team? Are they playing like a 90-point team? The answer is no. But you still expect them to go on and challenge for the title.
Let's go on a break. We'll give you a video for the week. When we return, it's going to be time for Tipster's Corner. Welcome back from that short break. I'm sure you enjoyed the video, particularly if you're a Chelsea fan. Liverpool conceding late goals. There used to be scorers of late goals. Now they're conceding late goals.
Yeah, it has been flipped. But the first goal for Estevao in the Chelsea shirt, it's actually quite nice to see teenagers these days, step up to the plate. I think the introduction of Lamine Yamal into the scene has caused a frenzy for all of the elite teams to
look for their own version
of Yamal. But yeah, Estevao seems like a good wonder kid. It seems like a guy who has all of the talent to excel in the Premier League.
All right, it's time for the Tipsters Corner. We have two games for you. This time we're picking them from the Africa World Cup qualifiers, and we'll start with our own Nigeria, where they take on Lesotho away from home, and there's also Gambia, who hosts Gabon.
Yeah, for Nigeria, Lesotho, let's not forget that it's in South Africa, and hopefully it's not going to be in Bloemfontein, where we played a one-word draw with South Africa. But yeah, I think we still have enough to win, especially when you consider what's at stake in Super Eagles. I think it should be enough motivation to get us through against a team like Lesotho. Even though I'm not overly confident in the Super Eagles, I still think like a double chance another 3.5 seems like good value for the Super Eagles. A draw no bets also is something that I like to do when you have a team who you're not so sure of, but a certain part of you is thinking that they can go on to win. I'm not so sure about the one-up option in this one, but yeah, you can go with a double chance on another 3.5 and a draw no bet for Nigeria. And if you want to be patriotic, it's your money, you can go with a straight win.
All right, Gambia, Gabon.
For Gambia, Gabon. So this is one of the most exciting groups. Gambia a point behind Ivory Coast who are on 20. And for them to go away to Gambia, a team who also might be having hopes, even though they're 9 points behind the top two guys. Yeah, I think I'll go with the Gabon to score. Gabon have been very, very good in this World Cup qualifier series. I think you also can give them a double chance. You can also give them to score 3 in a row. No, that looks like a very, very decent, option to put your money on for Gabon. And I don't see them losing against Gambia, especially when you consider what's at stake also for Gabon. Yeah, so these are two teams, away teams that you can put your money on: Nigeria and Gabon.
There you have it. Remember, Sports Pizza is not responsible for any bet loss. We just give you expert opinions on the likely outcomes of these games. And this is where we drop anchor on today's edition. I'm sure you've had so much fun with us. Always a pleasure doing this with you, Bankole.
Yeah, it's always nice to be here, Edwin. I'm doing this alongside you.
Yep.
Like I always say, you're the Robin to my Batman. So hopefully we'll be back here to celebrate the Super Eagles. I'm getting all 3 points against Lesotho. And from me to our viewers, have yourself a lovely, lovely weekend.
Go out there, support the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and have a fantastic week. My name is Edwin Onyebolise. Keep following, keep watching, keep supporting.